told y'all last week during like a workshop or something, I'm not a financial advisor, okay? I probably give you solid financial advice because I've learned how to manage it, but I'm definitely not a financial advisor. But when it comes to investments, it's funny to watch when you study like super successful people, okay? I flew down to Austin and I took an Uber up to Waco, and we drove by the new Tesla plant that's in Austin that Elon Musk just went, bloop. There's a freaking giant plant. It's huge. It took us like a good 2 or 3 minutes driving 80 miles an hour on the highway to get past it, okay? Right? It's a huge plant. Okay, and I'm looking in the windows and stuff, and it's just this nice glass plane the whole way through the thing, and there's just so many offices and so many, I'm like, how many people are gonna work in this plant and all this stuff, right? And I think about just how he just kind of he was like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to be in California. Austin, bam, done, right? And just thinking about highly, highly successful people, right? A lot of people do that kind of stuff, right? You think about the Jeff Bezos, the Grant Cardones, all that kind of stuff, and you look at this stuff and you're like, man, that's amazing, right? All the investments that they make, either financially or just with things that, a lot of people would complain about, hey, California's restricting my business and blah, blah, blah. You guys know how much money it took to build that plant in Austin? I don't actually know the number, but Google it, it'll probably pop up, okay? It's probably not a small thing, okay? But he understands the investment there, right? And that's a money investment, but I'm talking about when true entrepreneurs, right? Which is, I've talked to some of our leaders about this. I want people to think like true entrepreneurs in our business, because if you don't, you're gonna get screwed, okay? And true entrepreneurs, they understand that everything is an investment, okay? It's either a positive investment or it's a negative investment, okay? And what I mean by that is there's certain things, especially time, right? Your time is your most valuable asset and your most valuable investment. It can either hurt you or it can build you. Right? So you got to understand that your time is an investment. Every single second that you spend, how many seconds are there in a day? Anybody know? I forget what it is. There's a number. A lady said it to me a couple weeks ago. She was like, this is not in my 5,000 something. Is it 5,000 something? Google it, Corey.
86,400 seconds.
86,400 seconds?
Yeah.
In a day?
Yeah.
8640. I think that's what she said. Yeah. She said, this was not in my 8640 today. And I was like, well, can we make it part of your 8640, And she was, and it kind of clicked. I was like, man, 8,640, that's a lot of time. And if you invest it the right way, that's a lot of investment that you can make for the positive, right? People think about one day, they're like, oh, one day's not gonna make or break me. You're probably right. It's probably not, right? The slide edge mentality is probably not gonna make or break you, but it could also make you, right? That's a lot of time that you could be investing, okay? But true entrepreneurs, how they spend their time, okay? Everything has to be a positive investment. Every single second of their day has to be a positive investment, right? The way that they wake up, okay? The way that they sleep, okay? They think about it. They're like, I'm not just going to sleep to sleep, man. I'm going to sleep for my 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever it is, to where I can be energetic. I have enough sleep. It's an investment, right? Investment in their sleep, okay? The car ride to work, it better not be wasted, right? 95% of America doesn't even think about their car ride to work. They think about the traffic. They think about the time spent. Oh, it takes 45 minutes, man. Right? No, true entrepreneurs, they're like, man, this better be an investment. If I've got 30, 45 minutes to kill, I better do something. I better be reading a book, listening to an audiobook, having a phone call that's actually productive, something. There's not going to be a wasted 30, 45 minutes of my day. It's just not going to be wasted, right? It's an investment, right? Every moment at work is productive, right? There's not a wasted minute at work. If there is a wasted minute, I might as well be doing something else, right? If I'm wasting time, right? There's not a moment that needs to be wasted, right? Going out to eat, okay? It can be productive. It's not just going out to eat, right? Maybe you go out to eat with the right people to where you're actually networking. Maybe you go out to eat with friends that are actually going to push you forward, right? Everything is an investment in my time, and it better be productive, right? True entrepreneurs think that way. They start to, and it kind of frustrates, stuff that wastes their time, right? Like Netflix, okay? YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff starts to become frustrating because every time you get on it, I just wasted freaking 30 minutes, bro. I could have done something. I could have listened to a YouTube video on how to make like actual financial investments for 30 minutes. And then instead of 10 years from now, me being broke and not knowing how to manage money, I could have spent that 30 minutes better and maybe compound effect over 10 years. I'm sitting with a lot more money than I am now, right? Stuff starts to get frustrating if it's wasting your time, okay? In the field for us, right, it would be more the concept of like customers wasting your time. Right? It would be more the fact that, hey, like every single second I'm inside the office needs to be productive, right? I'm frustrated when people aren't working in ammo, especially people that are on my team, right? I'm frustrated when people don't communicate with me because, hey, we need to move forward. We're not just here to do a job. We're here to move forward. We're here to produce. We're here to actually get better. We're here to build businesses, right? That stuff starts to get a little bit frustrating when you feel like you're wasting your time, okay? So great entrepreneurs think of their time as an investment. Every single second is an investment. Every single minute, every single year, everything is an investment. It's either positive or negative. And when you start to realize that a lot of things that we do, we invest our time into the negative, right? You don't really realize it, but at the same time, you can replace it with things that are actually going to move you forward, okay? Second thing is their energy, okay? Taking time to work out is an investment, but it gives you more energy, right? So it's a positive investment, okay? What you put in your body, right? It's unfortunate, but in America, okay, to eat healthier is more expensive, but it's an investment, right? It's less money to eat unhealthy, but at the same time, you're less productive, okay? So over time, it's a bad investment. Would everybody agree? Mm-hmm. Okay? So that's an investment. Not wasting energy on stuff that isn't moving me forward is an investment, right? Always out partying, always, smoking weed because it makes me feel better. It makes me forget some of the stuff that I don't want to deal with, right? Instead of actually making a positive investment and taking things head on and being like, hey, this is going to move me forward eventually. It kind of sucks now, but eventually it's going to move me forward, right? Investing time in stuff that's just, it's not actually going to make you any better. It's just kind of a time waster. You guys really realize how many time wasters we have in our society right now?
A lot.
Did you say smoking weed to forget all the things? I feel like that's drinking.
Okay,
Sure.
it can be a lot of different things. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? But doing those things instead of investing in something that actually gets you excited, instead of investing in something that actually makes you obsessed, okay? Because obsessed is such a bad word in our society. Don't be obsessed with your job, right? Don't be obsessed with eating healthy. Man, no, get obsessed over something, please. Right? Like get obsessed over whatever it is that you enjoy in life, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but get obsessed over it so you can actually get excited about investing in it. Okay? Does anybody ever get excited to invest in things that waste their time? I hope not.
No.
Right? Like get excited about investing in things that are actually going to move you forward and actually makes you feel obsessed with the things that you want out of life. Right? That's when you get obsessed with things that you want out of life, right? Instead of them just being dreams, right? We talk about that all the time. We have the impact of like, hey, raise your hand if you want nice cars and nice houses and being able to retire your parents and being able to invest in these things. Well, become obsessed with those things and see what happens. Because when you're obsessed with those things, you don't waste time on TikTok. When you become obsessed with those things, you don't waste your time in the field because you know it's your money, right? Because guess what? Retiring your parents, what does it take? Money. So you won't waste your time in the field if you're actually obsessed with retiring your parents, right? Because you're like, man, that's my money, man. I don't care about the $2,000 paychecks that are getting asked on a leader's call. I need a $4,000 paycheck. And guess what? For me to be easier to make a $4,000 paycheck, I need to get freaking promoted, which means I need to learn how to teach and train people, right? When you become obsessed with things, you start to focus on the right things, right? The next thing is their resources, okay? They bring resources into their lives, talking about great entrepreneurs, they bring resources into their lives that's going to make them better. Everything that they purchase is a long-term play, okay? Because entrepreneurship is not a one-year deal. It's not a 2-year deal. For you, it needs to be a 5, 10, 15. It needs to be a long-term play, okay? Because entrepreneurship is definitely tough, okay? It's not sunshine and rainbows and all this kind of stuff, right? It's actual work, okay? But it's got to be a long-term play. You've got to stop thinking in the moment. You've got to stop thinking about just this year. You've got to stop thinking about whatever it is short-term that you want, right? 0 to $1 million in 6 months, okay? It's not going to happen. Stuff that is good is built over a long period of time, right? And those are the things you've got to bring resources that are actually going to invest in that long-term play, right? Like I just, for Christmas, this is just a small example. My wife bought me, I'll show you guys in a little bit, but it's basically a notebook that I don't know how to explain
Digital.
it. It's a digital
Paper
note.
thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? It's
Yeah.
called a Remarkable, okay? But it's basically, people are like, well, what do you like? You know, it's just like an iPad. And I'm like, yeah, it is without all the freaking distractions. Because there's too many freaking distractions in life. I don't want any of them. I just want something that's actually going to make me better and I don't have any distractions, right? And so understand that everything that you invest in, right, books, notes, systems that you can put into play, right? Like money spent to open different offices, right? When you become an owner, your outside promotions are not going to be free. Anybody know what the average promotion costs?
20K.
Yeah, it's anywhere from 15 to 20 and 25K, depending on how much you spend on the investment, right? But everything's an investment, right? And that's a long-term play. If I open Corey's office for $20,000, you think I'm going to get $20,000 in my first year for overrides?
No.
No, it's a long-term play. It's one to give him an opportunity to make a heck of a lot of money, okay? And it's a long-term play over the next 5, 10, 15 years that we're going to build a massive organization, right? But you have to be obsessed with that, and you have to be able to make that investment even though you don't see the return right away, okay? The next thing they do is they invest in people, okay? You need to be able to invest and be around people that push or motivate me in the right direction, okay? This is hard when people start to understand that this really does affect their life, because usually it means putting people out a little bit, right? Those negative people that you have in your life, or the negative influences that you have in your life, sometimes you gotta push them away at least for a little bit, right? While you can get focused, right? Doesn't mean the relationship can't come back around, but sometimes it's just out. Like, you're a negative person, man. It's always something. You're blaming stuff on other people. I just don't want to be that way. I need to be locked in on what I want to do. Okay, but you may have to get rid of certain influences to be able to make that investment. But I guarantee you think Grant Cardone is hanging around with people that aren't motivated? You think he's hanging around with people that make bad money investments? You think he's hanging around with people that say, hey man, Grant, you want to buy a helicopter? I don't know, man. I don't think you can do it, bro. You think he's hanging around those people? Okay, there's probably people in your life that are kind of like that, whether you realize it or not. And sometimes you got to cut out those people. You got to get around people that actually believe in you, right? When Will says, man, I want to retire my parents in the next 5 years. Like, frick yeah, man. We're going to do it. I don't know how, but we're going to make it happen, right? You got to get around people that are excited to build you and what you're doing, right? So just understand that everything's an investment, okay? I want to invest in things that are going to move me forward. It's always a long-term play, okay? Imagine what you want your life to look like 5, 6, 7 years from now. And you'll start to become obsessed with what you're investing every single day, right? It's not always money, right? It's not always what you invest in money. It's how you're investing your time. How you're investing your time spent with other people. How you're investing your time inside the stores. How you're investing your time inside of like actually teaching and you're training your people, right? Like making those phone calls that are important to other people, right? Everything is an investment. When you get serious about investments, okay? Everybody's like, how do I invest, right? They're talking about money, right? I'm like, well, learn how to invest your time, your resources, and the things that you do have. Because guess what? To be good at investments, like actual money investments, what do you have to have?
Time.
Money.
Money. Okay. You usually have to have money.
You can buy time
right?
with money.
To get a big return, right? Like I see these people are like, bro, I invested $100 in Bitcoin. It's like a 7% increase right now. I got $7. Go to the freaking field and sell one line. Right? Like, I'm like, come on, man, you need a lot of money to make good financial investments when it comes to money, right? So learn how to manage your investments when it comes to your time, Mary, you're laughing, okay? Learn how to manage your time. Learn how to get serious with like, man, this is frustrating. I feel like I'm wasting 20 minutes, man. Like, I feel like I just wasted an hour. I feel like TikTok is, like, I don't need TikTok on my phone anymore, man. It just wastes freaking time. Right? Like when you get serious about that kind of investment, that's when you get serious, and eventually you will be able to make investments, because guess what? Those investments compound into other investments, okay? So that's all I had.
Heck yeah!